Hey there, this video is for you if you're struggling to raise money for your first or your next deal. I wanted to make this video to encourage you if you've been finding it a struggle up to now. So I wanted to share with you how I managed to get started 5 years ago in property. First of all, being in groups like this is massively helpful, whether you manage to connect with some people and expand your network of investor support, or if you just hang back and absorb that information. I've learned so much from this group just by reading through people's posts, the questions that they put in there, the answers that come out. We've got some fantastic experts in here that are so helpful, so you learn so much. Now, when it came to property, I was that person who didn't have any savings. On paper, I didn't have a high enough income, either making lending quite tricky, but I still managed to buy 10 properties in 2 years. I'm going to tell you how I did it. So I started investing in property about 5 years ago. My investing journey actually started 7 years ago when I signed up for a Robert Kiyosaki seminar on property. I'm sure some of you know who he is. But I registered incorrectly and I found myself in a seminar room about Forex trading. Long story short, I ended up learning how to do that first, mastered it enough to leave my job, and ended up traveling the world and teaching for Rich Dad 2. I did that for a few years and eventually went solo, teaching people under my own brand. So even though I was making good money from trading, when it came to property, there was a problem. I didn't have a high enough taxed income on paper. Through trading in the UK, it's tax-free, the way I teach it at least anyway. So I didn't have a taxable income on paper, and I didn't own any property, and because I kept all my money in my trading account, I didn't have any money in my savings pot. So how did I get started? Firstly, I learned. I got myself educated. Then I connected with people. Then I started asking people if they would want to invest with me. I had no track record, so that was quite tricky. And as a result, I compromised and I negotiated. Instead of going for an angel, we've all been told to go for angels, but the difficulties inherent in there, I went for a business partner. And I set up a company with my first business partner. They put in the money, I put in the work, and it has definitely not been plain sailing. I've had dodgy tenants, tenants not pay rent, tenants ride motorbikes through my property, tenants even set fire to my property, leaving it uninhabitable for 11 months while I still had to pay the council tax. Dickheads. Anywho, I did what I needed to do to get started, and as I progressed, I used profits I made from my own Forex trading and profits from the rental income to reinvest. The model I set up with my first business partner, I repeated another 2 times with another 2 individuals and set up another 2 property companies. I now have a healthy portfolio. I've bought out all of my business partners and I've consolidated the portfolio into just one company, which makes my life far, far easier. I'm now into simplicity as much as possible, and I have an income from property which will cover me for the rest of my life. Yes, it took time, it took compromise, it took multiple income streams, but it will all be worth it when I'm 90 years old and I'm sipping pina coladas surrounded by my family with no one needing to worry about finances. One piece of advice that was given to me is to diversify your investments. That doesn't necessarily mean just property strategies. Think about what is available to you. There's stocks, there's Forex, there's bonds, there's other businesses, and even art. There are so many ways that you can create wealth. You just have to be open to it and do a little bit of exploring. I hope this video helps you to keep going. It isn't always easy. Well, it hasn't been for me at least, but I do think it's worth it. One last tip I would give is learn. Learn as much as you can from the awesome content in this group and take full responsibility for your investments. Don't make excuses. Just do what you need to do to make it work.